Hi MIT, my name is Siddharth Agarwala, and this is my MIT Maker portfolio. Over the last 4 years, I've been cooking up a bunch of new stuff, and I'm excited to share some of my favorite projects with you. One constant in my life has been Legos. This is my Lego Rock Paper Scissors robot. It utilizes Google's Voice API to recognize what a person is saying, and utilizes Python, Bluetooth, and a speaker to communicate with the player and the Lego Mindstorms processor. Here's another project I've worked on. This DIY bike trainer reads a user's speed with a magnetic read switch and motivates the user to keep biking using a Kodi plugin and HDMI CEC to control their TV. Starting freshman year, I started modifying my school's FRC team's previous robot in SolidWorks. I developed a fully 3D printed, worm gear driven mechanism that could change the angle at which the robot shot power cells. There were a few issues with the initial design, and both sections had to be redesigned and reprinted, with additional fillets to increase rigidity and larger holes to account for tolerances, but the initial idea worked really well. My next project was also my most extensive. Last off-season, I designed and constructed a fully functional swerve drive based on the SDS MK4i modules in a 20-inch square frame. Through this, I created an entire FRC robot, basically from scratch. I initially planned to laser cut and CNC the robot at school. However, we didn't have the materials, so I cut up the files and 3D printed it in smaller parts on my CR10 and Ender 3. A few drywall screws, hot glue, and a prayer later, the 3D printed plates were ready to be mounted to the aluminum chassis. Once the hardware was ready, I wired the robot. This was the first time I was setting up the power distribution system completely from scratch, and I definitely made a few mistakes.
That's bad.
After fixing that issue, I moved on to programming. Since it was my first time dealing with holonomic motion, I had to understand the logic and methods driving the robot. Eventually, I found that one wheel was always just completely wrong. It moved in sync, but the startup sequence was unpredictable, leading to random wheel behavior later on. Using a multimeter, a mentor and I found that the sensor itself was faulty and replaced it. Once we replaced it, we had significantly better results on our test chassis, allowing us to swerve around my garage and later the competition field. Thanks for watching.